also want to take a moment to address the violence that too many residents are experiencing in their communities. As governor, I have and will continue to invest in communities that have been neglected for far too long. Earlier today, I also spoke to the head of the Chicago office of the FBI to convey my longstanding position. I welcome legitimate resources from the federal government to reduce violence and help our residents stay safe. That can mean getting illegal guns off the street or investigating criminal enterprises. And I welcome the support for our local and state efforts to reduce crime. But let's be clear. That also means we must invest in our schools, in our physical and mental health services, in workforce development programs that build up opportunity where years of disinvestment have hollowed it out. If you want to fix a problem, you start with the roots of the problem. But what I will not stand for are efforts that undermine civil rights and civil liberties like what's happening in Portland, conducted anonymously under the cover of darkness and with no transparency. Any effort from the federal government to undermine the basic freedoms this nation has, in its best moments, aspired to protect, will be met with resistance from this state government. Thank you, and now I'd be happy to take questions from members of the media.
Well, let's start with that, since that's where you've been talking. I noted that yesterday, I read that you spoke to the Homeland Security. What's the response been? Might we see federal agents without insignias on the streets of Chicago?
The acting secretary of Homeland Security did not return my phone call and said that he would not over the next 48 hours. So that's what happened in that call yesterday. I have worked tirelessly over the last few days, speaking with not only the mayor but the attorney general to coordinate activities that we might engage in if we need to push back on some force of the federal protective services that might arrive, the kinds of forces that are on the ground in Portland. And so we're talking about that, working that out. We are hopeful that that will not be the case. We know that the ATF, the FBI, the DEA are coming to and are in Chicago engaged in activities to help our local law enforcement. The state police are engaged in that. Chicago police departments across the state, in fact, are engaged in that. And that seems legitimate activity to go after criminal enterprises. And I encourage that. We need to get violence and criminal enterprises shut down. But it's this other thing that's going on where people are wearing camouflaged uniforms with no identification about who they are, claiming to be protecting federal buildings when in fact they're going blocks and blocks away from federal buildings to do things like throw people into vans and arrest them without telling them why they're being arrested, and then keeping them for hours before letting them go. That is not something that is acceptable in the state of Illinois or the city of Chicago.